Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Bundesliga Show, brought to you by Over the Bar. We are back for one of two very enjoyable and special shows as we get closer and closer to the start of the Bundesliga season. The first of which is going to be a welcome back to the Bundesliga for SV Darmstadt. So, we're really looking forward to getting stuck into this. We've done a few shows like this in previous seasons, kind of profiling the clubs to get everyone a bit more up to date with who they are and what they stand for and what chances, they have in the Bundesliga going forwards. One thing that we've never really been able to do, though, is have any, representation from said clubs. So, Mark, we're very, very lucky to have a bit of representation from Darmstadt this evening. So, I think without further ado, let's bring in Alex and we can start getting to know him at Darmstadt.
Hello, good evening.
Hi, Alex. How's it going?
Good evening, Alex.
Hi. Fine, thank you.
How are things on your end?
Very great. We're just here in our training camp, having a nice evening with our team and our supporters. Doing some barbecue, playing some music, and sending some greetings to England.
Amazing stuff. I can only assume how vibrant the atmosphere must be, Alex, with the excitement ahead of the new season and the challenge that lies ahead.
Yes, of course. It's very exciting for us to be back in Bundesliga again, and now we are preparing as good as we can, and are curious where it will lead.
Absolutely. So, Alex, do you want to quickly introduce yourself and maybe just relate to how long you've been working with Darmstadt as well?
My name is Alex Lehné. I'm 38 years old and working for Darmstadt since 10 years as a supporters liaison officer. And before I've been a supporter of the club myself, and so I'm Darmstadt is in my life since everything, every time I can say.
Fantastic. What we want to do is kind of absorb all of your information and knowledge this evening, Alex, and kind of get to know Darmstadt a little bit more. I've got my top on, so I'm ready. I'm in the mood for learning more and more about the club, and obviously really wanting them to thrive in the Bundesliga this season. So if we kind of move into our first section or topic of the evening, and it's going to be looking backwards and kind of talking a little bit about the history of Darmstadt as a club. So I'll kind of reel off a few bits of information, and Alex, you can maybe expand on them if you're able to. That'd be amazing. The club was founded 125 years ago now, obviously in 1898. But the club wasn't always known as SV Darmstadt, were they? So the club came to be as we know them now, thanks to a merger, if that's correct. Was that in the early 20th century? Is that right? Or sorry, in 1905.
Yeah, so we were founded as Olympia Darmstadt. This was the very first name. And there was also another club founded in 1905. That's Darmstadt Sports Club, DSC. And in 1919, they got a fusion and the new name SV Darmstadt 98. 98 still from the founding date of Olympia.
Yeah, amazing. And just again, kind of profiling the club a little bit. Obviously, the club, Darmstadt, are known as Die Lilien. So for our English viewers, they're obviously being known as the Lilies. Where does that nickname come from, Alex? Obviously, we can see the crest, which is associated with the club. But where does the nickname stem from?
The lily comes from the town crest. And was added as a crest in 1919 when this fusion took place. You can say that Olympia Darmstadt was some kind of club for students, for people on university, and the DSC was a club of the workers of the town. And so in the first years, they were kind of rivals. And after
Okay.
the First World War, they recognized that they have no chance of building up a team themselves on their own, and recognized they have to stand for whole the city. And so it was quite logical for them to take the city's crest as the crest of the club as well. And so you can find the lily in many places in Darmstadt. And everybody from here identifies with this symbol.
Yeah, amazing. That's really interesting, and so without going into too much depth around the history of the club, Darmstadt for a long while enjoyed a run through the second division through the 1950s, and obviously so on. Whilst the Bundesliga was being created, of course, in 1963, but the club eventually managed to get into the Bundesliga for the first time in 1978-79 season, and that was followed by another season in 1981-82. But in terms of Darmstadt getting to the Bundesliga for the first time, Alex, I mean, how big an achievement was that considered the first time around?
Yes, it was the biggest achievement you can imagine, because we were the only team in the Bundesliga right then that had no professional players. We had a nickname. We were the after-work professionals. So in German you say Feierabendprofis. And so everybody in the team had a job. And after finishing work, they went to training. And on the weekend they had their matches. And this was in 1978. It was a big story. Now it's even bigger if you imagine this. And it was quite normal. We had some teachers in the club, sports teachers, of course, and even the floodlights built up in this time in the stadium were built by a player of us who was an architect.
Oh my God!
Yeah. So
amazing.
Yes, it's a big story for us this time.
Sure.
But when it was not enough. Then we were relegated this year. And when we got back to Bundesliga 2 years later, they were professionals as everybody else, of course.
Okay, lovely. And so, I mean, we talk about the first time that Darmstadt were able to get into the Bundesliga, obviously in the late 70s and early 80s. And then what maybe followed was a tough time for your club, Alex, in terms of certainly from a financial point of view, and obviously even on the on the pitch as well as you fell down the German ladder, so to speak, and there were a few instances where I believe from my research, and correct me if I'm wrong, where a couple of relegations did not happen because of other teams not getting their licenses. Is that correct?
That's correct, yes. I think after the time in Bundesliga, we were a long time, we were part of second Bundesliga, and I think also today, I think so, this is the natural environment for our club. But, demands and claims have gone bigger after being part of the professional football. And so there was spent money, but there was no success, no promotion. And with the time, it got harder and harder, and we were relegated down to a fourth level. Then in the millennials, we got back in the third level, at least. What was quite big for us then, because we haven't been in the nationwide league since 1992. And so we were happy to join on the away trip leading us north and not only in the south of Germany. And but in the season we would have been relegated, but another club, Offenbacher Kickers, didn't get their license due to financial reasons. What makes it quite special, because they are one of the biggest rivals of Darmstadt. It's just 20 kilometers to Offenbach. And so it was... this story was quite special, and it was you couldn't expect that the next season we finished on the third place and played our playoffs against Bielefeld, who got the relegation place in second Bundesliga.
Yeah.
And then
one final question, Alex, on the financial stuff, and then I'll let Mark kind of come in on the rise of Darmstadt. How did the club then kind of avert or get ahead of the financial difficulties? Again, I've read stuff around kind of holding like friendly benefits with. I think one of them was with Bayern Munich, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, in 2008, the club was nearly bankrupt. We had debts of about 2 million euros, what is quite a lot for a fourth-level football team. And in the first days when we heard this, there was nearly no hope. We didn't think, we had no idea how to save our club. But it didn't last long, and everybody met up at the stadium, and we had great talks, and we just decided to save the club. We didn't know how, but we decided we will do it. And the next 1 or 2 years were full of action, full of things done by supporters to collect money and to bring life back to the club and make it more attractive again in the city for sponsorship and so on. And yes, it all finished with a game against Bayern Munich. They came to us for free, and we had a full stadium. And ticketing on this day was the very last step to get the debts away from us. Was quite funny. I don't know if you noticed her. Our financial chief of our club board was just standing next to me, who was there in 2008 as well. Perfect timing.
Yes, quite. Yeah, absolutely. Right, I feel like I've hogged you, Alex. So, Mark, do you want to come in with some kind of links towards the amazing rise of Darmstadt through the leagues in the kind of early 2000s?
Yeah, definitely. I just wanted to pick up at the beginning of the 2010s. So obviously, as Alex already mentioned, Darmstadt had a really, really bad period at the end of the 90s into the early 2000s, and then they had a lot of financial problems. But then I would say that the start of the rise kind of happened with the promotion in the 2010-11 season from the Regionalliga Süd. Do you remember that one, Alex? Did you go to any games during that season as well?
Yes, of course. I think to every game I just missed one, I think.
Wow. Okay, yeah. And do Darmstadt fans consider that to be the kind of start of the return almost of the club, really?
Yes. This was the start of the return, but the really big start of the return comes a little bit later, but I think you will talk about it soon.
Yeah, and obviously I think one of the big moments was in 2012 when I think pretty much a club legend, Dirk Schuster, was appointed as the manager. Obviously, he went on to be a football legend, really. Obviously, I think he went on to Getafe and then Real Madrid. He even had a season at Real Madrid as well, so he went on to be a great football manager. But yeah, would you say that he was the kind of catalyst to the great things that Darmstadt went on to achieve in the 2010s?
Yes. At first, I have to correct you. I don't mix him up with Bernd Schuster. Is that two different?
Yes, of course, yeah.
So Dirk Schuster didn't play in Spain.
Yeah.
But yes, but you're totally right. He started a new era as a manager here with us, and leaded us to the success, and was the don't know how to say it in English.
The catalyst, yeah.
Catalyst, yes, you can say so.
And then obviously you've already alluded to the fact that in 2013-14 you had that famous promotion when you defeated Arminia Bielefeld in the playoffs. Yeah, so obviously that was a huge moment. You went into the second tier of Bundesliga football for the first time in 21 years. So obviously this was a huge moment for the club. Were you there as well? Did you see those games?
Yes, it was the greatest moment for us all, because the match in Darmstadt, the first match, we lost 3-1. And so we had to go to Bielefeld, and again, nobody really believed in us, and you could imagine of us being promoted this day, and we finished the game 3-1 as well, so we got into extra time. Then we got a goal against us. It was 3-2, and in the very, very last minute, Elton da Costa from Brazil took a shot from 20 meters and got it into the goal. And you can't imagine what was going on in our away section then. And you can't imagine even Bielefeld had one attack and they hit the post seconds after it. And then the game was over. Because
it must have been a big relief for the fans who have finally secured the promotion. But then it got even better, didn't it? The season after, the Darmstadt train just kept on going, and then the year after that, they got promoted again, this time into the Bundesliga, obviously finishing second in the Bundesliga table. I mean, what a season that must have been, Alex.
Yes, it was great. We talked about staying in our second Bundesliga all the year long, despite of being on the third or fourth place. And at the end, we said, perhaps Hannibal from the A team. He always is happy if a plan works. We always said we don't have a plan, but we are happy when it works. And so in the very end, we got promoted, and nobody could believe this because we just stayed in the third league because of Offenbach losing its license, got to the second league in a kind of crazy promotion match against Bielefeld, and then it didn't change anything, and just played football, and suddenly we were in the Bundesliga.
Yeah, it's just an incredible rise. And then, I mean, you still managed to solidify in the Bundesliga as well. The first season was pretty good, finishing in 14th place. I mean, that's a massive achievement. And I'm pretty sure that this season you'd take the same with a 14th place finish. Obviously, a massive achievement for a club like Darmstadt to retain the status in the Bundesliga. Yeah, so obviously the club was really on the rise at that point. But then obviously there was a drop-off after that. There was the glory days weren't to last too long, and they did end up getting dropped back down a couple of divisions, but then obviously back to where you want to be really now. Obviously this season back in the Bundesliga, and yeah, it's going to be a fantastic season ahead. I'm pretty sure of that.
Yeah. Well, keeping our place in the Bundesliga was the biggest success for our club, to be honest, and now we're trying to do this again.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So I'll let Rory take you through, obviously a bit more about the coach and the players that are going to be involved with this season as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, but just before I kind of go on to the coach, just quickly, Alex, in terms of we might touch on this in a little while as well, but in terms of the last season and kind of learning as a club, obviously you had a couple of near finishes in the last few seasons, coming fourth season back, and the fifth and the seventh place not too far back before that, and there was a lot of stuff been written about how not last season but the season before you scored a lot of goals, but you maybe conceded too many. But last season was the complete opposite, and your defence was the league's best. Was that a particular thing that the club, made a conscious effort to improve to make that step back up?
Yes, of course. We changed something in our how we play football. In the first year of Thorsten Lieberknecht, it was very spectacular football with many goals, like you mentioned. But we got to know it. It often isn't the best way to gain points, and so we had some very crazy games and very much fun in the stadium. But so they decided to play otherwise and to play more defense. And that's it. And you see, it was successful. And I think what's also about our club, the people are happy if they see some our guys fighting, tackling. They don't need to see the best football of the league. They just want to see our team is wears the lily with proud and does everything to win the game. And then it doesn't really matter if they win. And that's kind of our self-being.
Yes, amazing. So I just want to take a few more minutes then to talk about the coach and maybe a couple of your key players. And we'll start with the head coach. And forgive me for my probably awful English pronunciation of his name, Thorsten Lieberknecht. You can tell me if that was bad, it's fine. I think to a wider audience or to an English audience, the coach Torsten is maybe more well known for kind of being a pal of Jurgen Klopp because of the time that they spent together and being roommates, I think, at Mainz. But of course, the man is a lot more than that, and kind of alluding to his at least his managerial kind of career so far, starting off with Braunschweig in 2008, where he got the chance to become head coach after retiring there. And he was had a really good and successful spell with Eintracht and did amazing things with them, got them up the league structures as well, and was really well thought of in that sense. And so since he's come to Darmstadt, and I think he's been with you since 2019, he's had a really positive time with you. A solid win percentage of 55%, and obviously, we just spoke about him learning from the season before. What has Torsten brought to the club in terms of the structure and how you actually are now playing?
Yes, I'd say the most important thing about him is he's a very empathetic coach. For him, all the players are equally important, and he talks a lot with everybody. Not only the players, also the staff and everybody working for the club. And also he has if you meet him in the city, he has always time to take a talk with the supporters as well. So for him, it's very important to feel the spirit of a club and of a city and to build up a team. This is the most important thing for him. And I think he's a kind of coach who sees which players do I have and how can I use them in the best way. It's not his way to say, okay, I'm your coach. I like to play this system, and now I'm looking for the players who can do this. It's the other way around with him, and these are the most important things about him, I'd say. And so we can adapt very good to everything that comes to us.
Of course, and then with that kind of way of managing, then I suppose he is not kind of panicking in the sense of this season coming, and as you say, he will kind of just roll with the punches, and so he will kind of fit players in and utilize them as best that he can do, rather than relying on one individual one-star person and stuff like that. So he's very much a team man.
Yes, you're totally right, I think. I think it's also our mission to make the players better, because we don't have the financial possibilities of many other clubs in the league. Financially, if you think about it, we're doing with the ladies' bike on the Tour de France, and so it's about us to find players who we can develop, and just a moment.
Viertel vor würden die Mannschaft.
No problem.
Will ich machen?
Yes, we will.
Also ich sagen, die Mannschaft verabschieden und ab sofort.
Okay. This was just our team manager asking me if it's okay if the team leaves in a quarter of an hour from the party going on after. I'm very sorry for the interruption, but that's life.
Not a problem at all. The players
where did we stop? Yeah. It's all about developing players, finding talents to make them better, and that's our mission, and that was what he does best, I think. And
brilliant. I think we'll just, for the last 5 or so minutes, and maybe slightly longer, depending on how long we have you for, Alex, perhaps me and Mark can just pick out the odd player in terms of in terms of how key they are to your squad, and you can maybe allude to them a little bit more. And I'll start with Yannick Müller. Obviously, a central defender who's been part of the back line last season that was so successful and in keeping the best defensive record. A former German youth player at under 19 level, worked his way through the Köln setup and Dynamo Dresden. For you, Alex, will Yannick play a big part this season, and how is he as a squad member?
Yes, I think all our central defenders were very important in the last season. So if you see that normally only 2 or 3 of them can play, but we had I would say 4 guys playing on the same level in central defense. One of them, Patrick Pfeiffer, he got to Augsburg for the new season. But now we have with Yannick and with Thomas Isherwood and with Clemens Riedel, who is from our own youth team. We have great alternatives. And we also got some new guys, Christoph Clara coming from Fortuna Düsseldorf, Austrian player. And so I think we will concentrate again on being stable and getting some work away from our keeper. And I think, of course, Yannick will play an important role in this.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention as well, obviously, you kind of touched on him, Patrick Pfeiffer. I mean, obviously a fantastic player for Darmstadt 98. I mean, do you think the team is going to miss him, or do you think that they have enough quality to replace the main man at the back there?
Yes, I think, of course, some player of his quality you will always miss. But I think as well, as I said, we had some players on the same level in the last season. I guess and I hope that we can do it without him this season as well. And we will see. But yes, he's a perfect example of what Darmstadt does. We got him from the under-19s from Hamburg. And we got him here 2 or 3 years, and after those years, Hamburg wanted to buy him back from us. So that's the best thing, the best compliment we can have for our work.
And what did the fans think about him leaving as well? Because obviously Augsburg, it's not the biggest club in Germany. So were the fans a little bit surprised to see him leave to Augsburg, or did they understand his move, really?
I think most of them understood it because Augsburg is not the biggest club in Germany, but they are playing the first level for, don't know it exactly, 7 or 8 years now. And that makes them bigger and bigger every season, especially on a financial view. And so we can't compete with them when it comes to wages. So everybody can understand why this happens, and everybody knows what our possibilities are, and so those things happen. It's quite normal in today's football.
Mark, I'm surprised you haven't mentioned Fort as obviously being a Nuremberg man and seeing Florian Nuremberger.
Yeah, I was going to mention him next, actually.
Yeah.
Obviously, I don't know if you know, Alex, but my team is FC Nuremberg, and obviously you poached one of our better players as well. So yeah, you've got one back on us there. But yeah, what do you think about the signing of Fabian Nuremberg? Are the fans happy with him, or a little bit surprised by the signing?
A little bit surprised because he was a perfect match for Nuremberg. Just imagine having a shirt from your favorite club with the name of the club.
It's incredible, yeah. But he was from Hamburg, actually. The problem is he was from Hamburg.
Yeah. So we thought about renaming him in Darmstadt, but didn't work until now. Yes, it was a good signing for us because our aim has to be to get some new guys from second league, because for them it's interesting to play for us because we play in Bundesliga. We can't get them over the money, but we can get the players and offer them playing time in Bundesliga, and that's a special thing we have. And so I think it's a good signing, and
enjoy him. He is a good player. He's a little bit inconsistent in my opinion, but he is a quality player overall, and I'm looking forward to seeing how he's going to do in the Bundesliga as well.
And he's a nice guy too, very sympathetic.
He's there with you now.
Yeah, we just had a talk some minutes ago.
Wow. Okay. Nice. Sending my best wishes.
Yes.
I tell him.
And just to finish up then tonight, Alex, because we've been so lucky to have you this evening. It's been great fun to chat. Just looking ahead to this season, then I presume that the overall aim and goal is to retain your Bundesliga status for another season to come.
Yes, that's it. We want to retain the place in Bundesliga. Perhaps to win a derby would be fine. It's always, I talked with many supporters today. They all said, it's if we get relegated, no problem, but let us get 6 points against Frankfurt.
First day of the season as well, which is
first day of the season, yeah.
Amazing, perfectly
But
positioned.
of course, we don't have to talk about who's the favorite in this match. It's clear as well, but it's only 90 minutes and everything can happen.
Absolutely, completely agree. And when you kind of think about it, and what Mark was saying about losing, Pfeiffer and other players to Augsburg, who are maybe kind of seen as not a big Bundesliga team, but if you put that into context of the fact that Augsburg were able to splash out 20 million euros on Ricardo Pepi, and that that transfer didn't work out, and that's kind of a transfer that would financially presumably be an absolute dream world for Darmstadt. So that's like kind of comparing the two is amazing. So from our point of view, we're absolutely wowed at the model that Darmstadt have, and when you compare the financial power, it's quite kind of knocks you back a little bit. So the fact that you're playing with the big boys is an amazing achievement, and we're really excited to see how you go this season.
Yeah, it's for us. We are proud to be a membership-owned club. We don't have any owners, any investors, and so it's quite hard to us to compete with the bigger clubs to gain more TV fans than we do. We have to stay some years in the league to get those big money pots. But yes, we know who we are. We're proud of being ourselves. And we try what we can, and I think if we try everything we can, everybody will be happy with the season, no matter how it ends.
Yeah. And what can we expect from the fans? Because we all know that in the Bundesliga, it's all about the fans. It's one of the things all fans love about the Bundesliga. And what about the Darmstadt fans? Are we going to be expecting a lot of pyro, a lot of great ultra chants, or are they a little bit quieter over there?
Yeah, you can certainly expect something. Where in the last Bundesliga years we were also traveling in quite big numbers. I hope this will happen again. But we are not such a big city. We have 160,000 inhabitants and a stadium for 18,000. At home, stadium is always full. It's hard to get a ticket. And away, I think we'll have some good matches as well. And perhaps we have the possibility to see Darmstadt in England in the next days. On 7th of August, we're playing Liverpool in Preston. And
Preston, wow, that's 5 minutes from where I'm from. That is,
So if you need a ticket, just ask me. We'll be there with about 800 supporters on a Monday night game.
You'll be there as well. You'll be there, okay.
I'll be there as well, yeah.
It's a pity I'm not there. I'm in Germany, so it's a pity I'm not there, but it's literally 5 minutes. It's 5 minutes from there. And interesting fact, my grandfather played for Preston North End as well, actually. Yeah, my great-grandfather was a player for that club. So,
okay, great.
There you go. Small world, right?
And also, our fans always said we don't have to win a championship, no cup, but we want to play in Europe once. And so this is kind of the first step doing it.
Absolutely.
Well, Preston is definitely eye-opening anyway. You'll enjoy it, I'm sure. It's fantastic. Yeah,
absolutely.
We're looking forward to it.
Lovely stuff. We've so much enjoyed this conversation tonight, Alex, and really appreciate your time. I don't think there's too much more for us to kind of ask or to go through, but just to basically kind of wish you luck on your journey and your season ahead. And myself and Mark will be following it so very closely and wishing you luck in the derby for the first game of the season and then beyond, because I'm not sure you've been handed the easiest of starts, but I guess no game in the Bundesliga is easy. But yeah, really appreciate your time this evening. It's been fantastic to chat, and we look forward to hopefully chatting a little bit more as the seasons go on.
Yeah, thank you. Was a pleasure for me talking about my club in England, and yeah, perhaps we see each other in the future.
Yeah. Fantastic. Okay. So So if you enjoyed what you saw today, then don't forget to check out at Over the Bar FB and at Over the Bar Extra on Twitter. Also, don't forget to check out otbfootball.net, which is the mainstay of our work, which we've done a little bit of revamping on that over the summer as well. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, of course, because we want to get more fans so we can make more content for you guys. But thanks again to Alex for joining us. It was an absolute pleasure. And auf geht's Darmstadt next year.
Thank you.
See you later.
Okay, see ya.